What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another matchup from the Defense 3. This is the losers bracket quarterfinals. Can you actually believe it when we see these two teams matched up against each other in the losers bracket quarterfinals? When a lot of people expected that two of these teams would be in the top three at the very least. What do you think about this?
Yeah, these are two teams who don't lose very much. Empire's just amazingly good, and Navi, I think they've been struggling a little bit, but they're Navi. So,
Yeah.
you ready to watch this?
Yep. So we're gonna pause in three, two, one, go. And in case you guys didn't notice, that was Shred Kid once again. And just to give you some background perspective, Empire is 9-1 in their past 10. They lost to Virtus Pro in the winners bracket because, not even trolling, Virtus Pro looks like such a great team at the one. Meanwhile, Navi weren't even in the winners bracket. They were placed in the losers bracket. But now they're matched up against Empire, who they beat on LAN, but don't have usually a good record against them online.
Yeah, Empire's just kind of like a monster team. I'm actually expecting them to do pretty well at the International 3 when they go there, assuming. But no fanboy, but they are my favorite team. They play my favorite style of Dota. I love how they draft. I love how they play. And they're all really, really high individually skilled players. So I'm just getting my bias out of the way right now. So
No
you guys all
fanboy,
know
but I
that it's
actually
fair.
want to make love to them. That's
Yeah,
essentially what they're trying to say.
basically.
Yeah, I feel you. Virtus Pro, NS. I could look deep into that support size and say you can support me all day long. As anyway, it's gonna be Navi with the first ban. Gonna Keeper of the Light, so no Keeper of the Light shenanigans, no person AFK farming lane and then suddenly back in team fight. No, can't push against you for 30 minutes, so glad to see that hero completely removed. But Empire probably gonna ban out something like a Nyx or Batrider or an Undying. Probably a Nyx, I guess.
I would guess Nixon Bat is super standard, but obviously these two teams play against each other a lot, and I'm pretty sure they scrim against each other a lot too. So when you have two teams who really know each other's ban pick style, a lot of times you'll see a little bit less standard bans. But Team Empire is taking their time, which suggests that they don't want to go with the ultra standard bans, and just as I say that, they ban out Batrider. So
Meanwhile, now you're respecting that Funnick Wisp, saying that, okay, we have the chance to pick up Wisp ourselves with the first pick, but maybe we don't really want to play Wisp in the first game. Empire probably knows a lot about it, so we're just going to get rid of it altogether. So that leaves Magnus, Nyx, perhaps Undying, although he's been trending out recently. But he does fit Empire style quite well. Go Black, I know,
Empire,
plays
yeah,
a
Empire
really.
loves playing Undying. And what they do, they pioneered a different build with him when most teams were just doing the Decay Tombstone alternate. Empire actually gets 2 levels in the Undying heal, rip, whatever it is. So at level 3, it's a huge nuker, huge heal, and it's a different style of playing against Undying, but it's still just as, fearsome. So we're going to see Navi pick up Darks here, which is, super standard.
Yep, so Empire had the choice to pick up something like a Magnus. I think if now you got sort of their hands on Darkseer and Magnus, say goodbye to your team fight because that is just pretty much scary. So I'd be very, very shocked if Empire did not choose Magnus right here because he just synergizes very well. Of course, Darkseer synergizes well with everybody. He's sort of like a Wisp. He's best friends with everybody.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, like you said, I think they'll pick up the Magnus because Scandal really likes playing Magnus. Or at least they like drafting it for him. I don't know if he personally likes playing the hero, but we see them playing him all the time. Actually, we're not going to see Magnus pick up. We're going to see Undying and Gyrocopter. So Gyrocopter's obviously like a super flexible hero. I know no Tidehunter plays him as support, but you can play him as like a hard farmer. You can play him as a mid. He does all sorts of stuff, but he's a really good tri-laner in the sense that he has probably more damage output than anybody else in a tri-lane just because of Flak Cannon. So if you can get next to Flak somebody and use Flak Cannon, you'll normally get it off 2 times, and it's just terrifying. Wow, we actually see Magnus completely ignored. We're going to see Luna and Queen of Pain picked up by Navi. So there's a little bit of AoE going on. Right now, there isn't that much synergy with those heroes, but it's just really flexible overall. And there it is. We see the Clinks pick up. So expect like a Broodmother ban or... No, they can't ban Broodmother. Or they can't draft it, so...
So, gonna see the trademark Funnick Clinks. I think Navi is like one of the only teams who has a reasonable success record against that Funnick Clinks because it is ridiculously successful. As, I was about to comment on the Gyrocopter pick, but those picks and bans are flying through. Gyrocopter, I feel like when he's picked up early on, can actually limit a lot of your options in mid lane, especially since sort of Bat is removed from the pool. So you can potentially shut down a TA. Doesn't really do that well against Queen of Pain, but again, Flacken does allow him to help control the runes. So Gyrocopter, pretty flexible hero. And when he first started getting popular, I slept on him. I gave him a lot of shit, but apparently he's here to stay. And meanwhile, gonna have Luna on the other side, very, very powerful carry. A lot of mid game, a lot of early game presence, of course, with that late game and the Moonglaves bouncing back and forth. Definitely gonna be very scary. But Empire, I think so far, just judging from the first 3 picks, they have a little bit more burst edge, and if Undying doesn't die, then their team fight should be pretty good.
Yeah, they have damage is what Empire has right now. They need a way to hold people in place. And it looks like that's what Navi's getting rid of. They get rid of Bane, who's obviously amazing at that. They're going to get rid of Rubik, who also does that, and he, steals the Queen of Pain blink, and it's even more mobile. Yep. Okay, so there was a Broodmother ban, even though I don't think it would have worked for Navi that well. Just to protect the Clinks. They do the safe lane Clink solo thing, aggressive tri lane, and get Clinks to 10-minute Orchid, and then just go wreck shit. So.
Yep. So, like you said, these two teams probably played each other a bunch of times, and I'm sure Empire have had nightmares of Light of Heaven's Broodmother. So, also just a respect ban towards that as well, maybe. But more likely just protect the Clinks, like you mentioned. And of course, Undying Tombstone gets focused on by spiders. It's just gonna be a very miserable time for the Undying. Meanwhile, Navi gonna get rid of another very powerful ganking support in the form of Shouty, and one of the best ganking supports in the game, who doesn't need any farm whatsoever, always at the bottom of the net worth chart, but still always has a huge factor in the game. And so just judging by Empire's lap, Undying going to be in sort of aggressive tri-lane situation. Clink's going to be mid lane or safe lane. Gyrocopter could be aggressive tri-lane support, could be mid lane, could be hard carry in the tri-lane. So far Empire not really committing too much in their lanes other than the Clinks and Undying. Meal and Navi a little bit more stable in their lineup, I think.
Yeah, Navi's lineup is incredibly standard. They could, what a lot of teams like to do against Empire, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, is you put an aggressive tri-lane against the Clinks, and then it forces a rotation from the other two supports from Empire. So now we're having a farming tri-lane with Clinks, and you abandon your actually carry in the off lane who's soloing against their safe lane solo. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Because if Clinks actually gets kills in that lane, it's disgusting. Like, you're so powerful. And we actually see Navi will offensively tri-lane with that Enchantress. They have the option not to, but when you get an Enchantress and you're up against the Clinks, like, it makes a lot of sense to offensively tri-lane. So we'll have a Luna, Enchantress, and probably some support. Let me think. Nothing comes to mind right now, but probably some support to go with that, with Darkseer safe lane and Queen of Pain mid. And we're probably going to have Undying and Clinks in the safe lane, Gyro either mid or off lane, and Empire's going to pick up their supports right now, or a support.
Yeah, so Navi probably going to pick up, I imagine, Jakiro or Leshrac right here, so they have a bit more range and have some pushing power, as well as having some AoE on their side for their aggressive tri-lane. Of course, Enchantress does do very well, but only until she gets some creeps. So if those camps are blocked off or if they're contested early on, then Luna won't be in too good of a time. But considering Clinks doesn't really have any killing power until sort of the or until he gets a couple items, then they should be okay. But Empire are going to snatch up Jakiro themselves, so they're trying to secure their tri-lane as best as possible themselves.
Yeah, I think a lot of that Jakiro pick is, one, most of the supports are banned out, and two, you don't want to give Jakiro and Darkseer to the same team because that just gets scary fast. And is Magnus still in the pool? Yeah, he is. So they might pick up Magnus and run a Magnus mid.
Meanwhile, we're going to see Venomancer. So right now for Navi, they have a grand total of 0 stuns. Very, very nice. But they have a lot of chasing power, and it's going to be very difficult to run away from them. Meanwhile, it's not like Empire, very flush in the stun department, but they're going to pick up Puck with the last pickup, sort of solidify their team fight, give them a lot of versatility, give them a lot of escapability, give them some burst damage. Puck can pretty much do everything that you want in the early to mid stages of the game. And if he gets that ball rolling, then he really starts to become a major annoyance in the late game. But only if he gets the ball rolling will he become a true factor in the late game.
It's the best hero against the Queen of Pain. You shouldn't, if you play the lane as you should, and it's very hard to do it perfectly because it's completely dependent on phase shift. But if you do it as you should, you're gonna beat the Queen of Pain mid by a lot. Of course, this is Dendi we're talking about, but this is also Scandal. So anyway, let's introduce the teams.
Yep, so on the side of Navi, we're going to have Puppy playing the Queen of Pain, or Puppy playing the Enchantress. It's going to be Havos playing that Luna. Dendi's going to be playing the Queen of Pain, Light of Heaven's playing the Darkseer, and ars-art is going to be playing that Venomancer.
And on Empire, we're going to have Goblak on the Undying. On the Jakiro, we will have SS. We're going to have Scandal playing the Puck. Blow Your Brain is going to be playing the Farming Gyrocopter. And finally, Phonic on his signature Clinks.
Yep, so again, if you want an alternative version of this pod, check out youtube.com/joinda or twitch.tv/TobyWanDota to check out their cast of this VOD. But if you want to stick around, stay a while, then you can check out us. Meanwhile, so it looks like Puck going to pick up that Nultiles and pretty staring build thus far. Phonic just has a Wraith Band with a lot of regen pulled towards him. Pretty interesting thus far, as it looks like he is going to be handling that tri-lane by himself. No, we might just see a rotation by Empire. Yeah, they are going to rotate.
Yeah, they're gonna rotate immediately. They're gonna see the solo Darkseer and then they're gonna go. If you put a Darkseer solo up against a Clinks, you're probably gonna lose the game. Uh, he's just one of those heroes that you have to deal with. And if you deal with him, you'll do great. But it's completely dependent on how you actually approach the hero. You can't let him snowball.
And like you said, Puck, one of the only heroes in the game who does well against Queen of Pain, other than, I guess, TA, perhaps Windrunner, but Puck can have a little bit more teamfight aggression. And TA against, of course, Darkseer, Venomancer, definitely not really the best pickup, as we're probably going to see a rotation by Funnick planting that Observer Ward or staying very close to it. Just going to scurry off towards his lane, as we're going to see Navi try to get to their lanes. And looks like Funnick is just going to play it safe for now. And then once he sees that challenge, yep, he's going to probably start rotating very, very soon. Actually, can we pause for a sec? Because I'm getting a couple
Yep.
frame drops.
Just tell me what time you're at. So
I
we
am
make sure
at 10:13.
10:13. Oh wow. Okay. I'm at 10:20. So
Alright,
just
I'll just go. I think the frame drop issue is fixed, so I will pause again. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Alright, the frame drops issue were fixed, so we are back in the game. And already we're going to see Scandal holding his own against Denny. Keep in mind, it's just the first creep A, but already getting 1-0. And meanwhile, we're going to see a rotation of the trial. Who do you think has the advantage in this trial line?
This completely depends on the first 2 or 3 creeps that Enchantress gets. Like 100%. If she gets like a Troll creep or an Ursa, and Ursa's obviously really good with Venomancer, that's why you have the Venomancer set up for Enchantress, they'll be able to kill the Clinks before Undying gets his heal up. But if Undying gets his 2 points in Soul Rip, I think Empire has the advantage.
Now, sort of when I saw this lane set, I would have thought, alright, maybe Funnick, you should switch lanes against Darkseer, because you can probably take care of yourself against Darkseer pretty well. Meanwhile, Empire, blow your brain. You know, he has Flat Cannon to keep the lane back, he has Rocket Barrage if Darkseer ventures a bit too close, but I think Gyrocopter definitely provides a lot more to a Trilon than Clink, so not really too sure about this lack of rotation by Empire thus far, but you know, they've played with this Clink set many, many times before, so they definitely have a lot of experience in this.
Well, what they end up doing is they normally end up just having not Gyrocopter. They end up having the Clinks get kills because normally they're just better than whoever they're playing, and they just outposition someone, and Clinks is going to get a kill or 2. So normally they say, hey, whatever, we feel completely confident doing this. But against Navi, it might be, you know, a little bit of a different animal.
Yep, as Blurbrain already taking significant harassment from the Ion Shell out of Heaven. Probably not in any danger of dying. Actually going to take him a bit of Rocket Barrage damage and actually getting blocked a bit by Blurbrain. But will escape very, very easily. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Puppy unable to get too many good creeps, just getting some Shockwave and perhaps a Mana Burn creep here and there. No, managed to procure himself a Centaur. So Venomancer does manage to get that soul off. It could be Troll, but really against a Try and against Undying, it's so difficult to say if you can actually get a kill.
Yeah, it's very hard to do, and we're gonna see him actually try to draw a little bit of aggro, I guess. No, he's just trying to stomp before the creep dies anyway. But Enchantress has not gotten the creeps that he wants so far. And I think what Empire would have done if they knew that Navi was going to lane this way and they guessed wrong, what you do against an Enchantress like this is you ward your own jungle. And yeah, it kind of sucks, but it just completely cripples her. And yeah, they're doing it right now, but because they weren't in position and Navi controls that area, we're probably going to see that sentry to me immediately. No, they have no sentries. Never mind.
No, and looks like the courier is currently in use by Dendy, who is ball couriering it up on the middle lane. As we're going to see Jakiro pick up that haste rune. Puppy gonna cast a Shockwave, gonna miss, but that Satyr Hell Creep does have a lot of mana, has 600 base mana, so we'll probably use all his Shockwaves before he dies and still be okay. But meanwhile, these lanes pretty passive, and it's always funny to me, you know, Empire known for being one of the more aggressive teams in Dota, if not the most aggressive team in Dota, and whenever I cast them, they always play super passive.
I think what they do is they don't necessarily start the dives themselves, but they're very good at picking off mistakes that the enemies make. And we're going to actually see them go in. No, they're going to back out immediately when they see Venomancer. But yeah, they don't necessarily just say, oh, let's dive now. But when someone pushes out of position a tiny bit, they just immediately converge on that person.
Yep, so Gyrocopter leveling up that Flat Cannon. Interestingly enough, not getting a point to missile just yet. Probably get it maybe at level 7 or something, I'm not too sure. He's getting pretty much uninterrupted free farm. As so far, these lanes pretty passive. Queen of Pain 10 and 10, so she's out denying the puck, but actually gonna scout the rune for a bit, trying to guess that it is bottom. And we'll see if she does get that Dendy luck. No, Dendy is going to be thwarted for now, and that means a rune for Puppy, who is guarding it. But Dendy probably won't circle all the way around the top. No, Puppy is going to pick up that Double Dance rune. And here comes a Dual Breath on top lane. ars-art is going to take an Ice Path and a Dual Breath. Decay being stacked up onto ars-art. Tombstone being cast, a level 1 Tombstone. Sword will be in effect, but won't be used just yet, as ars-art does manage to die. But meanwhile, looks like Puck died in the middle of all that. And oh no, SS double damage will be so scary. But here comes Clinks with another last hit. Tombstone finally expired. It's going to be a 2 for 2 overall swap. And if I had to guess correctly, I think Navi came out better on that because they killed the Puck.
Yeah, I would say Navi won overall, but I think Fana got a kill, which is really huge. Yeah, I was watching mid lane when you were watching top. Scandal messed up. He missed 2 phase shifts in a row on 2 Scream of Pains, and you can't do that. It's a very finicky lane, and if you play it perfectly, you have a huge advantage, but it's so easy to mess up, and he did. No flame intended or anything, because it's very hard to do, but...
I don't know if you've ever watched fighting game streams, because it's pretty much the only esport that I follow outside of Dota, and I don't even follow Dota that much other than cast it, but maybe got some of that Dendi factor as opposed to the Wong factor.
Oh, Dendi jumps in, he whiffs his ult on Phonic. Wow.
That was...
well, Phonic juked it really, really well, but that's kind of a big thing. It's going to be down for 2 minutes, and it's really important to be able to get those important solo kills off early with the Sonic Wave. So,
and just yeah, actually, was still synced up 15, 25, 26, 27, 28.
Oh dear lord. Okay. Okay, yeah, now we're synced up.
All right. As Scandal, I'm just gonna meet up with Dendi, trading some high fives here and there. Looks like they are pretty much even level for the most part. Dendi has been roaming a lot more aggressively. It's only a slight experience advantage despite getting that kill. And meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Brain is 22 CS compared to Darkseer's 33. And Darkseer, if he gets too much uninterrupted free farm, can play a huge factor in these tri-lane versus tri-lane engagements.
Yeah, it's actually going to be a really big deal when Darkseer decides to start rotating around and helping, because he deals so much damage.
Oh, Puppy with the rotation, gonna force out a call down by Brain, but here comes the net as well as the Ursa creep, and Brain trying to do whatever he can. Can he juke out? Yucks, looks like the vacuum does whiff, but Ledovan does pick up the kill with the Iron Shell. No, looks like Enchantress actually picked that up. So Brain gonna be thrown and Ledovan will continue to get his free farm.
Yeah, and I think Puppy is doing something that you see incredibly rarely on Enchantress. I'll talk about it more, but her skill build is, for lack of a better word, a little bit bizarre. A lot of times what you do on Enchantress, when you're worried about getting one-shot by people like Tiny or something, is you do a stats build, where you get 2 points in Enchant, and you get 4 points in Nature's Attendance, and that's it. Everything else goes directly to stats. And right now she's level 5, and she does have a level in stats, so I think she's considering doing that this game. It was a little bit weird, though, because she got 2 points in Enchant before Nature's Attendance, but whatever.
Looks like she was holding on to at least one because she got that second point. But yeah, might actually be going for that, as that will definitely make her a lot more tanky. And, you know, Clinks does hurt, Gyrocopter does hurt, everybody on Empire hurts for lack of a better word. And if some decay stacks are stacked up against Enchantress, already has the worst HP growth in the game, it could be brutal. So getting some stats might not be the worst idea, even without a Tiny in the picture. As Phonic gonna pick up the Tranquil Boots, and has 2 Sage's Mask, gonna go for that Orchid, pretty standard, but not accustomed to having this little farm is Phonic.
Yeah, normally you see him with a lot more at this point. We're 7 minutes in, he's got 24 creeps and a kill. Normally by now he's got around 40 creeps at the very least. So I think when Empire drafts a Clinks, they very much rely on him getting out of control, and if he doesn't get out of control, I'm not sure how they're gonna approach it.
Meanwhile, Brain playing super scared, actually going to do some ancient stacking rather than approach the lane, knowing that Puppy is in the picture. And we'll find a Dendi in the woods, doesn't have a missile to scare him away. But the ancients have been stacked. We'll see if he tries to clear it out just now. No, going to just migrate back to the bottom lane. But he hasn't gotten experience in at least a minute, as he's playing super scared. So it's going to come down to a lot of pressure on Scandal to hopefully turn things around for Empire, because even though it is only 3-2, 8.5 minutes in the game, I feel like Empire losing a bit of their steam, and Empire is very much a momentum-based team, while Navi, a lot more experience, can sort of make things out of nothing.
Absolutely. And Scandal's actually, he's guessing really, really well, but I think Dendi's, even though he's about 10 creeps behind, he's got significantly more, oh, actually, no, I'm wrong. He doesn't have more levels, so forget what I'm saying.
Dendi's just been roaming a lot, interestingly enough. Like, he's always looking for the runes, he's been roaming to top lane, whiffing Sonic Waves here and there, just casually just taking the tour of all the lanes, and that is allowing Scandal to get some free farm, but also puts the fear in the heart, saying Dendi could be anywhere on the map, and actually...
Scandal's gonna try to, hang on, Scandal's gonna try to kill Dendi very soon, I think. If he gets a good ult off, he can kill Dendi very easily. He's actually gonna look for Enchantress, though. Huh.
And I was about to say, there are actually no wards on the map, because sometimes there's a bug. Actually, there is a ward on the map. Sometimes there's a bug where the eye doesn't appear on the minimap, but there is a ward on the map for Empire. Not too sure how many there are on Navi, just the Plague Ward scouting out the vision. As looks like the Courier might be in a bit of trouble, that Navi Weasel Crow will get the heck out of there. But so far, both teams look like they're playing relatively without vision.
Yeah, and that's kind of odd. Both of these teams normally have a lot of vision.
Dendy gonna go on to Scandal, forcing out the phase shift, but not gonna cast its Sonic Wave.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you phase shift basically anything the Queen of Pain throws at you, you can come out of it with a silence, an orb, and an ult, and then it's like, oh, I guess I'm dead. So it's very dependent on that phase shift working right, but Scandal's been very good at it. He just made a one misstep this game. Normally, I see him like very rarely make mistakes. And Dandy's gonna be getting gone on, but he'll just back out.
And actually, Puppy just gonna micro the creep, saying, blow your brain, actually closer to the rune. Gonna use that creep to destroy the rune, as wards have been placed all over the map. That annoying ward bug can't actually see the eyes, so just have to look at the dots. But meanwhile, just checking out the carries farms, Host 41 CS and Funnick 42, so they're playing relatively even. But in terms of overall early game impact, Luna definitely has solid edge, especially since Empire, even though they're pretty strong in early game engagements, not really the most tanky of lineups other than Undying.
Not at all. Puck without that dagger is actually really easy to kill. Obviously, Gyrocopter's best defense from getting killed is his rocket barrage. He's still pretty squishy. I mean, they all kind of die except for the Undying and Jakiro. They're just a support, so.
Yep, Mihal Light of Heaven, very close to that mechanism. Actually, we'll have it up in about 25 gold. We'll see if he tries to do anything with that or if he'll just keep up the farm, as he is going to have that mechanism shipped out to him very, very shortly. Is that the recipe? Oh, wow, he actually had that and 900 gold in the bank to spare, so Light of Heaven is ridiculously farmed.
Yeah, he's got 70 creeps. That's a lot of creeps. I mean, you're expecting a Darkseer safe lane to get a lot of farm to begin with, but that's an absurd amount of farm. That's like 6-7 creeps a minute.
I mean, compare his farm with Blurbrain, who was ganked once, 35 CS, almost half the farm, a little bit over half the farm now that he's doing some ancient stacks, but still, Blurbrain is having a miserable time. And Gyrocopter, if he doesn't get too many kills early game, really has a very difficult time in the mid-game recovering.
Yeah, he's not really an ultra mid-game powerhouse if you don't play him as like a ganker from
If you don't have like a Darkseer on your side for that vacuum.
Oh yeah, that too. But he takes over again in the late game if he has a ton of farm, but Blow Your Brain doesn't. So anyway, there's something going on in top lane. We're going to see a Puck Dreamclaw coming out. Silence is going to follow through. I think Scandal, no, Undying is going to pick up the last hit on that, and that was happened very fast. Just a Puck ult into an immediate death, and they should take the top tower after this.
Yep, go black. 2 points of Tombstone, 2 points of Soul Orb, like you mentioned. And also the side benefit of that Soul Orb is that it does actually drastically reduce the cooldown. I mean, 5 seconds may not seem that much, but, you know, 5 seconds where the heal that's doing 250 damage is pretty ridiculous at that point in the game. As there is going to be a tower rotation. Looks like Light of Heaven unable to apply too much pressure, even though Puppy was there with them. But Nami going to lose the tower essentially for nothing. 3-3 in terms of in terms of hero kill score. And Dendy is invisible, stalking his prey. Here comes the Sonic Wave, catching both heroes, beautifully placed. That is real knowledge of Queen of Pain right there.
Oh man, here I'll actually talk about this after they kill. Maybe they'll kill someone. Phonic's looking for prey, but he doesn't have his Orchid up, so we'll see if he's actually able to do anything with this. I doubt he will. Maybe ars-art will split up, but
oh, ars-art, no. Say it ain't so. Oh, a couple arrows and ars-art should be fine. As he is gonna roam into a Sentry Ward. No, that is the Dire Sentry Ward, so he will be okay. ars-art taking one more pot shot, but still. How about that gank again by Dendy?
oh, I was gonna say they messed up because they knew that he had the Invis rune. They knew that he was going there, and they placed a Sentry Ward to prepare for it, and it just reacted really slowly.
Like, yeah, they actually gave Dendy enough time to line up the Sonic Wave so it hit both, despite it looking like it barely missed the edge. Sonic Wave in Dota 2 seems a little bit more deceptive, at least to my shitty vision, compared to...
Yeah, no, I liked it better in Dota 1. It seemed more, like the AoE was more reflective of what it actually was, but yeah. That was a rare misstep coming out from Empire to allow Denny to get that double kill. And the thing is, when you have a Queen of Pain against a Clinks, it can go one of two ways. There's basically you're forced into one of two openings as Queen of Pain, unless you're like stomping. You either have to get a Ghost Scepter first, or you have to get a BKB first. And he's gonna really want that BKB, especially against the Puck. But if he has a bad game, he has to get the Ghost Scepter. And oh, he's gonna get gone on. And there's a blink, there's a silence. Does he have ult? He does. He's gonna ult at the very end. He's gonna blink away, and he's gonna dodge the Gale, but nothing to come of it. And Scandal misplays again. Had he ulted a little bit sooner, they would have gotten an extra kill there.
Yeah, or pretty long cooldown actually can fall up right there despite the stun. And actually Dendi, despite his kill, is only 52 CS, meanwhile Scandal 82, and he will have the dagger up, actually won't have the Dream Coil up by the time he gets a dagger. So maybe a little bit misplayed there by Scandal, because he won't be able to gank as hard as he would have if he did have the ultimate up, now that he does have the dagger. But still, Empire should be in decent shape, and just checking out the levels, Undying is level 6, so has access into that flame, or that flesh golem. And meanwhile, Klink's about 200 gold from finishing his Orchid. So if Empire want to strike, it's going to be time very soon.
Yeah, they're going to want to do it before Dendy gets his BKB. What's on the courier? That is part of a BKB. But yeah, like I was saying, Klink's destroys Quap if you don't have that BKB up. And they really, really want to start killing her before she does. Like, it's huge. It's so important to do that.
Yeah, Dendi, because of his heavy roam, despite picking up 3 kills, very, very terrible farm, 57 CS at this point. Just due to the fact that he's been rolling, trying to control runes, trying to help secure his other lanes, but that is costing him valuable farm. And that will mean that Klinks will finish his Orchid before Dendi even is halfway there towards that BKB. As here comes a push in by now, he's saying that, okay, Klinks has the Orchid, but the best way to fight that is to group up and push as 5 with Enchantress while she's still very, very strong. But Scandal's wing in the wings does have that Dream Coil, and here comes Ice Path delaying the onslaught. Looks like Golbak does manage to die to a Sonic Wave by Dendi, who pops out with a haste rune, but Puppey gonna go on, or getting initiated on by Funnick, and easily able to survive the barrage as Scandal can he escape? No, takes the Lucent Beam right to the face, and Empire's on full retreat. It looks like they were just completely mispositioned this fight.
That was not good play. They were out of position. 3 different people were out of position in that fight. And when you're out of position against a Queen of Pain, you die. It's just how it works.
Yeah, and now we see the cooldown being popped defensively. Blow Your Brain, again, suffering in terms of farm. Does have that Yasha, but still very, very squishy. It's going to be difficult to catch up to him, but you do have a Queen of Pain and a Darkseer on your side. And speaking of the Darkseer, he's level 12 with 2 points in the wall at level 16. That is ridiculous. Or at minute 16, but Gyrocopter gets a nicely timed deny, and that is going to force Navi to back off. But Light of Heaven, so much farm so early on. And what do you think he should go for right now?
I would get you either go for a Vlad's right now and try to just push in, or you go for I would go for a Shiva's. I don't think they necessarily need a pipe. I mean, I know that Empire has a lot of magic damage, but I think with the Enchantress
Funnick initiating onto Dendi. Dendi actually running the wrong way for a little bit, and here comes the Orchid Burst Edge. Does manage to kill off Dendi. Nicely played by Funnick, calculating Dendi's movement perfectly. Dendi actually took 3 steps in one direction while Funnick was hitting on him, and then realized, oh crap, Funnick's actually hitting me, and then walked back the other direction. But by that time, it was already too late.
Yeah, that's one of the important things about Klinks is knowing how they're going to be walking, because it's important to get that extra 1 or 2 autos off to kill them. So it's just a pretty good play from Funnick right there. And they're going to pop the Tombstone mid. This tower might go down. I think it will.
Vacuum being used very defensively as here comes rotation by Navi. Gonna use the Plague Ward to try to kill off that Tombstone. And can they actually get the tower denied? This tower venturing into deny range is actually in deny range right now. Empire might have to commit very, very soon. Puck is going to pick up the last tower on the tower. Nicely done by Scandal. And will escape safely. So Empire regaining a bit of momentum. But still 8-4 in favor of Navi. They have a long way to go, especially since Blurrbane suffering very, very hard. But actually only about 1250 away from that BKB.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge once he actually finishes that, because all of a sudden, Queen of Pain can't touch him anymore. And at this point, we're going to see Dendy's just going to farm for the BKB, which is a huge item. Ars-art doesn't have anything, but Light of Heaven may actually elect to go for Pipe. And I know I didn't mention this, but Puppey's skill build only has 2 in Nature's Attendance, which is, when I was talking about it being weird before, you never see this. This is the only time I've ever seen this in my life with, and I play a ton of Enchantress and Serious Dota. Normally you get max Nature's Attendance and do stats, but I think she's so scared of, the Klink's silence. I mean, you're not going to be able to heal if you're silenced, so I guess she's just going completely pure stats and saying, you know what, we're going to sacrifice the healing potential for my team. And yeah, she's got the urn, she's got the point booster. She's pretty tanky for an 18-minute Enchantress, so I guess Pipe would be appropriate in that case if she's not going to have more points in heal.
Just to play a little bit devil's advocate, wouldn't it be better to get maybe 2 points untouchable, so you have that 50% attack slow, or does it really not matter with how much damage Klink's?
It doesn't matter. No, because it's not a lot of attacks. It's just like 3 or 4 attacks and you die normally if you don't go the stats build. So even if you have untouchable up, it's not a big deal really.
Meanwhile, Navi taking a tier 2 tower essentially for free. Checking out the gold graph, it's going to take a slight upswing towards Navi, but they have a, looks like 1, 2, 3, 3 tower or 4 tower to 2 tower advantage. Basic math is very, very hard.
Oh God, you're telling me, B-Ball, and I'm a math major, and the more math I learn, the worse I am at math. Like, I can't do arithmetic. You ask me what like 17 plus 5 is, I can't do that. But anyway,
Yeah, Louis a math major, and I've never seen a Chinese person worse in math. As anyway, gonna see SS may do some creep stacking, trying to get Blur Brains Farm accelerated. As both teams trying to scout Roshan, now we see the wards icon back on the map. And again, both teams playing pretty much without vision. Very interesting style of Dota. Maybe it's just a Russian thing.
I don't know because both of these teams normally have pretty decent wards up, but
Oh
I think
no, looks like 2 of them are actually only observer or sentry wards are appearing up as eyes on the map, and actually the dots are just the observer wards. Very annoying for our
oh
spectators.
yeah, yep, I'm seeing it now. Yeah, no, they got vision up.
Yeah, they actually have a lot of vision. As Funnick, 2,400 gold in the bank, gonna try to go on Puppy. Those stats might just pay off right here, and it might just end up saving his life. Puppy, a couple more shots, does pop up the heal and the urn, and you were right, man. Those stats actually saved his life right there.
Yeah, I guess that's why he did the This is why Puppy is a better player than me. He has enough experience in this matchup to know that had he not gotten 2 ranks in stats instead of 2 points in extra in Nature's Attendance, he would have died there.
That's
So-
the only reason why Puppy's a better player than you, obviously.
Only, yeah, I'm completely equal to him in every other respect. But he has so much like that's amazing to me to know the matchup that well that he knows to do a weird skill build and he can live because of it. So I'm going to remember that one next time I'm doing this matchup. And let's take a look at farm.
Actually, Empire going for Roshan after they gave up a tier 1 for free, and they can't really kill this very fast, so they might just give up that tier 1 for free, and actually might take a huge teamfight loss to the face. Here comes the Gallblock of the Tombstone, popping that Flesh Golem, already very low. Dendy with that BKB, gonna pop and get that Sonic Wave popped off, gonna get Jakir to very low HP. Host on the pursuit, Meowlet even getting silenced. Looks like Funnick does pick up the Aegis Immortal, Dream Coil holding everybody in place. Here comes the wall, beautifully isolating everybody, gonna immediately pick up 2 kills, and Funnick gonna respawn with the Aegis surrounded by everybody. Centroid is in place, and Funnick is gonna die. That was weird decisions by Empire. They gave up that tier 1 in the top lane for free, and they just barely started going to work on that Roshan by the time that tier 1 expired. I can't say that was very, very well played by Empire at all.
Yeah, this is not the Empire I know and love. They're playing real sloppy this game. It's just a bunch of weird positioning and like weird decisions coming out, and it's just allowing Dendy. What's Dendy's score? Dendy's 7, 1, and 3. Like Dendy's kind of just destroying this game, and it's because he's picking off. It's mostly Goblak is dying a lot to Dendy, but I think like everybody is, to be honest. SS is dying to Dendy, Goblak, like he's just picking them off over and over, and eventually he's gonna get a Hex up, and that's gonna be an issue.
Meow Light of Heaven gonna go for the Aghanim's, as once he gets that, it's gonna be very scary. Keep in mind.
He's got it.
Oh wow, he already has it on its way. I was wondering, he had a lot of gold. He's like, really just that point booster? But now actually has the finished Aghanim's flying out towards him. 140% damage illusion is gonna hurt very, very hard, especially since these guys are pretty squishy at this point, considering that they don't do that much damage, but still, considering as Gyro gets more and more stats, he'll become more and more scary. And Gyrocopter using a 10-second BKB charge, and did Empire actually get a kill in that engagement? I can't actually remember.
I don't think they did.
Oh yeah,
So
they
they
did, because
lost-
8-4, and then went up to 12-4.
They lost 4 people. Yeah.
And that is brutal. Scandal picked up a pretty solid Blink Dagger, gonna go for that Hex, has the Ultimate Orb in hand. It's gonna be Hex, it won't be anything like Lincoln Sphere, I imagine.
Yeah, it's a Hex.
I don't know,
You
if this is Pinoy Dota, man, it's just...
You don't build Lincolns on Puck. You just don't, like,
Unless you're playing Pinoy Dota.
unless you're playing Pinoy Dota. But, like, Yules does the same thing, but better. Forest Staff does the same thing, but better. Like, if you want more survivability, you just get another positioning item.
Meanwhile, Empire, you can check out their vision with the little dots. Their little vision is very, very limited. Playing very, very scared. And actually, Dendy gonna go invisible. Does have a smoke to see up. Looks like Light of Heaven gonna get that vacuum off, but they don't have detection on them. So Funnick will be able to escape very, very easily. But they didn't expend too many resources. And actually, they are just gonna push the top lane, so not really the worst usage of spells right there. Just saying, Funnick, run off. Tell your friends, we're coming.
Yeah, I'm wondering actually when they're gonna get, they being Navi of course, are gonna get a gem up because they have map control. Like they can put it on Dendy, who's not gonna die anymore, and it's just gonna be very, very hard once they deward the entire map and they're able to understand where the Clinks is. Like I would actually recommend them getting a gem right now, but they are Navi and I am me, so
Yeah, even ars-art has that Ghost Scepter, so he's actually pretty difficult to kill. aside from that dream call by Puck. As here comes the siege once again. Navi going to rotate in. Funnick is hanging around in the backside as Wolf's going to charge in very, very bravely. Does have that BKB up. It is at 9 seconds. Tornado being summoned by Puppy. It will get stopped eventually as that creep very, very tanky. But will allow Vos to chip away at the tower a little bit more. Will get into deny range. It does get glyphed to Empire. Are they going to actually try to take this fight? Looks like they're trying to. Here comes the initiation by Golbat. Going to pop down the tombstone. Vacuum, call down, wall, all being used. Ice Path not catching everybody because everybody's BK beat up except for Light of Heaven. Sonic Wave being popped in. Vos going to work with those right clicks and the Eclipse. 2 for nothing thus far. Where is Funnick? Where is Funnick? He's in the background. He's actually not doing anything. Poor, unfortunate Funnick can't do too much with this level of farm, but Vos going to charge in very, very bravely and might end up paying for it with his life. Will end up paying for it with his life as Funnick tried to do some damage in the background, but here comes Light of Heaven. Iron Shell doing so much work with that Venomancer in the background. Ridiculous damage over time, and now we take a team wipe at the cost of Havost. Havost probably raging at his team saying, man, why you guys let me die?
Yeah, actually, Empire probably could have gotten a few more people had Scandal played that fight correctly. He got a silence on one person. He got an ult on one person. And you need to be getting them on like 3 people at this point if you're losing this game. And he just died immediately after. So Dendy's going to go and he's going to dive. We're seeing Impetus is coming out, dealing a ton of damage. SS is definitely going to go down. Goblak's going to go down. We're going to see 3 people down. Buyback's coming out. ars-art's running away. Looks like Blow Your Brain's staying on him, but Ghost Scepter will run out eventually. Back in the middle of the base, we're seeing Scandal taking a ton of damage. He's going to get maybe one more Impetus. He's going to phase shift out. He's going to jump to the orb. And will Puppy get him?
Oh, the zombies! Nope. Doing work as Puppy gonna get orchided up. Here comes right click damage by Funnick. Will pick up a kill. And Light of Heaven finally dying as that buyback by, I think, Scandal bought back. Actually helped Empire save their tier 3 and get themselves a hefty amount of kills. And keep in mind, those kills were a huge amount of experience and gold, considering Navi was ahead by a huge amount. So will help Empire get back in the game. Keep in mind, they are down by a lot. But this will definitely go a long way in terms of making up some of that deficit.
Yeah, and ultra kill on your carry when you're behind is basically like the single best thing that you can ask for. Navi did normally this is something that they normally don't do. Normally when there's a really good team winning and they push people back off the racks, they just kill the racks. Navi decided to dive the racks and it ended up really, really bad because Empire had buybacks that Navi wasn't aware of. Like Empire held their buybacks until Navi was in their base and then they bought back and TP'd behind them and all of a sudden Navi goes, oh, this is an issue. So
yeah, that was an interesting play by Navi, especially since Vos, their primary damage dealer, the primary rack seizure was in the picture. So maybe that's why they didn't go for it, because Vos deals so much damage to racks. They felt like the best way to go about it was just to try to kill everybody on the side of Empire, but it did end up costing him quite severely, as now Funnick does have access into the BKB full 10-second duration, and now he can start picking up pretty big damage items very, very soon.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dendy's pretty close to his hex, which is going to be a pretty big issue, because while there are BKBs on Funnick and Blow Your Brain, there isn't one on Puck. And if you just hex the Puck, he's just going to die instantly.
And maybe this is why we see not really as much Puck as we should see, because if he loses a lot of momentum, he just doesn't really affect the game nearly as much as other heroes.
Yeah, it is an issue, but I really am going to be critical of Scandal this game. He messed up a lot. Like, he has not played as well as he normally does by a huge margin. And he should have won mid lane. He had 2 opportunities to kill Dendy, and he didn't. And he died to Dendy once when he shouldn't have. And when you miss 2 solo kills on the enemy mid and get solo killed yourself, like, that's a game changer. Had he played the way he should have and actually, you know, had his reflexes and been aggressive when he should have, Dendy would be the one who's behind right now and struggling, especially against the Clinks, and Puck would be doing whatever he wants. But enough being critical of a player who's, you know, much, much better than me, so.
Yep, as looks like Navi were in danger of being smoked. Actually, Empire smoked very, very far into enemy territory, and now we just grouped up pushing mid. Light of Heaven is finally level 16, so it does have access into that 45-second wall with the increased damage of illusions. That will hurt like very few other skills in the game. Meanwhile, Blow Your Brain, any item progression, does have a Demon Edge, so we'll go for probably that MKB very, very soon, I imagine.
Ooh, and Puppy's got an Aghanim Scepter, and that's huge. For people who don't play Enchantress that much, or don't play against Enchantresses that much, this actually turns Enchantress, this item, plus Treads and like one other stat item, turns her into like a hard carry. If you get it up at 25 to 30 minutes, she is on par with every other carry in the game. And it's going to be absolutely terrifying because the impetuses are going to three-shot you. They actually do. You get three-shot by them. So if she just stands in the back and Empire doesn't really have a way of getting at her aside from Puck, it's going to be a huge issue for Empire. Like, how are they going to deal with her?
Yeah, and Dendi getting close to that Hex has that gem as well, so Funnick was forced to retreat. And I imagine once Dendi picks up the Hex, Navi will look to try to take back Roshan control and then try to go for the game-ending push. On the side of Empire, Gyrocopter, this could be perhaps maybe Desperation Rapier, as this might be what they need to get themselves back in, but I imagine it will be MKB, because even though they're behind, a
They're
couple
not
more team
that
fights.
behind. Like,
Yeah.
they can lose a Rax and still be in this game. It's not like they're already... Like, if they were Rax down, I would say, yeah, go for the Rapier. But they have all their Rax right now, so I think MKB is more appropriate.
Meanwhile, we'll see if Puppy does go for the Kuroki build. Him and Kuroki, of course, being very good friends. Kuroki, I think he did go Aghanims into straight Mask of Madness with like very little HP, and then AC, and then just go into fucking Machine Gun Enchantress. So funny.
It is fun. The only issue with that is you actually burn through mana incredibly fast. Like, you don't have enough for one full engage. But normally what you do after this on Enchantress is you would get a Ghost Scepter up, and you live against the Clinks and blow your brain in this situation, or you just get like an Orchid or a Silent Stick or something.
Yeah, a lot of Heaven has a Ghost Scepter of his own. It's going to be pretty much impossible to kill him at the start of the battle, as Vo's going to summon those Mantis Delusions, going to go to work on the tower and blow your brain. Blow your brain actually to half HP before this fight even breaks out. Puppy going to use his heal, just get a little bit of healing going for his team, as Navi not going to commit to this just yet. I imagine they're just trying to get Roshan control.
Yeah. And how long do we have on Roshan? Oh, it's like now.
Oh yeah,
So-
and Dendi didn't even have his Hex yet, but he'll have it up very, very soon, in about 8 gold, so that's why Navi didn't commit to that.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You get the Hex done, you get the Roshan done, and then you go. It's a big thing, and this is sort of what the difference is, or one of the many differences between pretty good teams and okay teams. It's knowing when you can, like, if you have an advantage and you try to push in, as Navi could have done now, they might have won, they might have lost. But if you wait 2 minutes and you get a much bigger advantage, that's when you're going to want to push in. And Navi understands this. They're not in any hurry to necessarily end the game when they know that they'll have a higher success of winning the game after they finish, the stuff which they can finish easily. So it's just a mark of Navi being, a fairly good experienced team.
Puck actually getting pretty close to his own Hex, as Golbat going to summon Tombstone, as long as go into the Flesh Golem, but actually will die at the beginning of the battle, as it's going to be carry on carry action. Here comes the call down. Havos actually forced to back off, as Funnick in the middle of everything, trying to do whatever he can. Light of Heaven taking significant damage. He is going to die as well for Navi, that while still doing a lot of damage in the background. Enchantress doing a lot of work herself. ars-art is going to die as well. SS trying to get one last Ice Path off, as Scandal is forced to retreat. And looks like Navi just had a little bit more firepower in that engagement, as it looked like Empire actually played that out pretty solidly.
Yeah, and the reason why they lost that fight was Puppy. Did you see how much damage those impetuses were dealing? He
And
got
she
a
wasn't
triple kill.
focused at all. It was just...
Yeah, and that's what Aghanims does. You can't actually get at the Enchantress.
Blower
which is-
Rain gonna get
oh,
pursued
man.
by Dandy, gonna get hexed, and Havos going to work with him, as looks like Blower Rain is gonna end up dying. Does have buyback, as somehow the Dire Courier died in the midst of all that. Roshan's still at healthy HP, but I guess now it's time for Navi to say, alright, we're tired of all this, we're just
And
gonna
look
try
at
to get
Phonic.
it
Look at Phonic.
Yep, that gem on Denny putting in a lot of work. Looks like Denny one last blink, but turn around at the last second, but it doesn't even matter.
They just fed both of their carries. Like, this is not the Empire that we normally see. Like, that was just a rookie mistake from both of them. And yeah, Navi's gonna say, we're gonna end this game now. They don't even feel like they have to take Roshan. They'll take it after the Rax.
Tombstone's being summoned. This tier 3 in a lot of danger, and Tombstone's gonna die before it actually does anything. As Sorb just a little bit too late. Golbat gonna take significant damage from the Enchantress once again. That impetus pretty much draining him to so low HP that the Lucent Beam was easily enough to clean it up. As the Rax are gonna die right here, right now. Scandal getting hexed by Dendy, and a couple more shots on B will pick up the kill. As Phonic trying to do whatever he can, but unfortunately outmatched by everybody on the side of now. He does successfully bring down Avos, but ultimately ends up paying for it with his life and actually bought back for that engagement. Scandal gonna blink back in, try and get the sounds off. Does manage to pick up Venomancer, but Denny gonna work on SS. Will SS able to escape? Of course he can't. Use a Jakiro, as Scandal able to escape himself, but still buybacks are Empire on both Phonic and on Scandal. Not actually enough to help them in that engagement.
Yeah, and oh, I thought Empire disconnected, but no, Scandal's gonna blink in, silence, and get immediately hexed this is the issue with Puck, and he doesn't get his ult off, although it is off cooldown. He's going to try to retreat. Dendy blinks preemptively. Enchantress is going to pause the game as she dies. Maybe there's some lag issues going on.
Yeah, ars-art also was disconnected, and he is dead, but yeah, I guess maybe they said, alright, ars-art, you can buy back and we'll go for Roshan. I'm not too sure. But Blurbrain was able to do significant work, but unfortunately they already lost so many hero kills, lost the middle barracks, and Navi didn't actually use any buybacks, and Light of Heaven still able to escape. Dendy looks like she'll be able to escape as well, the Queen of Pain, and actually has a lot of gold in her pocket, so Dendy will become even more scary, and Scandal might just be in for a rude awakening very, very soon. 6 HP. This is not going to be pretty for the Puck.
No, and I think Dagger's on cooldown for 4 seconds, and Orb is about to run out, so he's either going to jump to it and die or not jump to it and die. And Dendy's going to choose... Dendy doesn't pursue? Okay. I'm a little bit surprised with that.
Merciful.
Yeah.
What a nice guy.
Oh, and Scandal's going to come in and punish him for it. Although he's going to miss the orb. I don't know what the deal was with that. Dendy's on the retreat, but Blurbrain's just going to get a last hit.
And actually, Blurbrain going for the Rocketless build completely.
Yeah, I've seen some people doing that recently, and I'm going to be honest, I think it's terrible.
I mean,
just one
what's the point of just not getting your stun?
Yeah, I guess the idea is a lot of times it's killed, but even just getting 1 point in it in lane can force people back out of lane, and if you don't want to even get it then, just getting 1 point in it can either A, when you're chasing somebody, make sure that they can't TP, and 2, it gives vision of where they are, like it follows them.
Especially
really
a team fight, 2.2 second duration of a stun with a relatively short cooldown. I mean, even if it does get killed, it forces 3 attacks at the very least, not on your carry, so...
Yeah.
Blurbrain...
I'm gonna be honest, I think it's kind of stupid and useless. Just because, yeah, you're getting 2 to all stats. Oh, and Havosa's gonna get hexed. Sound's coming out, Scandal's gonna come in, ult on cooldown, Havosa's gonna go down immediately. ars-art is getting attacked. The Ghost Scepter should come out soonish. Phonic forces to use his BKB, but looks like Empire is gonna pick up Roshan.
Puppy gonna go in with that smoke to see Tombstone has been dropped. Vacuum Wall, Ice Path, all being used in quick succession. Light of Heaven is actually gonna be the next one Navi die. Is this the start of Empire comeback? Blurbrain doing so much damage, still at half HP, and Empire taking these fights where it would be very, very much unexpected in any other circumstance. ars-art is getting picked off by Phonic on the advance, and this is gonna be Roshan control, and suddenly Empire have a gasp of fresh air.
Yeah, this is them getting back in this game. With this Roshan up on Blow Your Brain, I'm assuming they'll put it on Blow Your Brain, and all of a sudden Blow Your Brain is actually like winning these engages for them. And something that I don't think we've mentioned at all is that Gyrocaptor as a hero is really, really good against DS. Just because you just kill all of his illusions and you don't even have to focus them. It's just that huge AoE presence just kind of destroys the illusions. And we see Navi actually, or excuse me, Dendy actually had to pick up a Ghost Scepter, and he used it to live in that fight. But normally when you're winning on Queen of Pain by this much, and like you have a Rax, you want to get big items. But he was actually forced into that Ghost Scepter because he's dying to Blow Your Brain and Clinks. So maybe Empire has figured out a way to get back in this game. I don't know. I'm guessing that Gyro's going to get a Manta next, but he might just choose for more damage items.
Yeah, Dendy, unfortunately for him, only has 5 seconds left on that BKB. Luna, only 6 seconds left on her BKB. And actually, Luna has not made too much item progression recently. Has been primarily the only one on Navi who's been dying despite their victorious engagements. Avost actually suffering 4, 5, and 15 with 200 CS, but still, at this point, you'd expect Luna to have at least one more Tier 3, Tier 4 item. And unfortunately, Avost, he's not buying back, but he's just being constantly focused. So that might be what allowed Empire to get back in the game, just because Navi, in the traditional sense of the word, don't really have a hard carry if Avost is constantly dying.
Yeah, and Luna isn't even that great as a hard carry. The only thing she really has, aside from her stat gain, is her cleave. And if Empire spreads out, and they really do have the potential to spread out, it doesn't really do that much. Just if you look at their lineup, everybody's got a lot of range. Like Jakiro stands way in the back, Puck kind of does whatever he wants. Blow Your Brain hits him out from wherever, but it looks like he might get gone on. I'm gonna stop talking about that because I think a fight's gonna break out.
Yep, ars-art trying to do some countering, but Scandal's gonna blink in with that Hex. Here comes the Eclipse being summoned, as Golbak is gonna be the first one to die yet again. The Tombstone's gonna fall shortly after. The Light of Heaven trying to get in position for that Vacuum Wall combination, but gonna get Dream Coiled. Vacuum not enough to suck everybody back into the wall. Phonic trying to do whatever he can, actually below half HP. Here comes Orb flying out by Puck. Dendy is on the retreat. Phonic will end up dying. Blurbrain doing so much work, unfortunately. Can't solo the entire enemy team, but might be able to solo it on the time of the respawn if he manages to get enough damage going in. Actually will be kited around to no end. And Scandal does buy back. Can he do enough work? Blurbrain, very low HP, is going to die. Gyrocopter going to buy back. Navi taking that team fight convincingly. Scandal might just waste his buyback right now. Gonna phase shift that vacuum, but it doesn't even matter as he can't approach the direction by any sort of circumstance as he dies from the right click of the Clink's illusion, dropping that gem, as actually Scandal didn't buy back, had that gem the whole time. But now he took that fight convincingly after he said Empire have a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I don't think they should have initiated in that situation at all. They didn't have vision of where Navi was, and Navi had complete vision of them, or at least mostly had vision of them. And if you're trying to initiate into a team when you're losing, when you don't have vision, it's probably not going to work. And we saw Scandal goes in, hexes, and then realizes, oh shit, this isn't going to work. And he orbs out immediately. And all of a sudden, your initiation is done, your hex is down, it wasn't used for anything, and you're out of position and they're attacking. So I don't think that was a wise decision of Empire right there.
And we're starting to see the power of Darkseer in the late game. So difficult to kill, constantly casting vacuums, ion shells, which still do ridiculous amounts of damage no matter what point in the game. Darkseer definitely the hero of that fight, as well as ars-art, who put in a lot of work. As, unfortunately, because of those buybacks, Blurbrain going to be very far from his next time, whatever it decides to be, as Vo's going to try to approach Funnick. Funnick able to easily escape. But yeah, those buybacks, despite keeping Empire back in the game, might just be delaying the inevitable, as they are not making any progression right now.
Yeah, you're right. I think Scandal, Blow Your Brain, and Phonic have all bought back at least 2 times. And Phonic's going to find Havos. He might try to kill him. He will. He's going to chomp the creep, but immediately the silence will get manted. Oh, it actually wasn't used at all. It was just a preemptive manta to man up on him, and Phonic realizes he has to back out.
Yep. 6 Luna illusions. How did that happen? I guess I just an illusion rune.
Illusion rune, I would guess, yeah. Either way, you don't want to mess with that.
It's just going to be a lot of glaives bouncing back and forth. That Scandal going to go with the initiation. Vos popping the BK, but Vos pretty much by himself for the beginning of this team fight. Here comes Dendy with reinforcement. Vos is going to be the first one to die yet again. Dendy blinks out to safety as Vos playing very aggressive, but unfortunately not in position to back up, so that might have been a very big overextension by Vos, but Vos, you know, he's just like, whatever, I'm dying in this game anyway.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. He BKBs, and at that point, it doesn't really make him safe, because Phonic does enough damage, even without the Searing Arrows, to really, really hurt. And Blow Your Brain at this point, how much is he dealing? He's dealing like 250 a shot, but it's to everyone, so that's a lot of damage too.
Yeah, and despite now taking a relatively early middle barracks and a bottom tier 3, have been able to crack the siege, and they won't be able to crack the siege for at least another 35 seconds because Vost is dead, and I imagine they do want to push him with all 5.
I'm going to imagine a smoke gang coming out from Navi soon. Puppy has 16 and Ags, so that's like as much as you ever get on that hero.
And a
Havos might
BKB,
pick up...
dang, 10 seconds.
Oh, that's what I meant to say, yeah, and a BKB. Havos is going to be up soon, he can get an equal song. Dendy's not close to any items. Light of Heaven isn't really that close to his Shivas, and ars-art's ars-art, so I think they might just try to smoke gank and end the game pretty soon. Like, just not even wait for the next Roshan.
Meow Puck, because he has been buying back only with that hex to his name. Blow Your Brain does have 2,600 gold in the bank. We'll see if he fishes the Manta or decides to play a bit more greedy. Greed might be the better option in this case, but still very far away from a significant item other than that Manta. Meow Funnick has been in the picture quite a bit, but still about, I'd say, 500 away from that Daedalus. So Navi do have some time.
Yeah. And normally in this case, if I was telling Clinks what to do, I would say hold your buyback. Just don't buy an item, make sure you have buyback. But I think at this point, Empire's realized that if they buy back any more, like even if they win a fight, if they're forced to buy back and their items don't progress and Navi's do, sure, they might hold on for another 5 minutes, but they're going to lose the next engage anyway. So I think Phonic might actually like to finish his Daedalus. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you because there's only so many times he can buy back and just not make up any ground. Navi only buying back with a couple heroes. Havost, I think, bought back once. Dendy might have bought back once. Enchantress. Ars-art, if they buy back, it might not make that much a difference, but considering all these carries have bought back multiple times on the side of
Hex on him, Blow Your Brain. He's getting impetus 1, 2. Oh my god, this is why I love Enchantress. This is why she is my favorite jungle hero. I play 4 in Serious Dota, and I don't play Enchantress that much, but when I do, I'm really excited about it because you actually get the carry.
And Blow Your Brain will have that buyback up in about 15 seconds, so we'll have to buy back very soon. Empire, they do have the glyph, is going to be forced out. Blow Your Brain, how many seconds to that buyback? 8 seconds. That cooldown lasting an eternity. And looks like Empire not even going to contest these bottom barracks and just realize, alright, Blurbrain's going to be dead. No, he is going to buy back actually right now. And this is the time for Empire to engage. Empire Goldblack going to pop his Flesh Golem yet again. Dendi below half HP. Goldblack once again going to be the first one to die, I imagine. Trying to run away, but can't run forever. Blurbrain trying to do whatever he can. Actually, Clinks does manage to pick off Luna in the back end of the battle. Funnick running away, but is revealed by the gem. Meanwhile, Puppey, full HP, spitting out impetuses left and right. Light of Heaven doing a lot of work. Gonna kill off Funnick very, very soon. That Sonic Wave purely to get that chaos, as looks like Enchantress does finally die. Blurbrain still in the midst of everything. That buyback actually gonna delay the inevitable for Empire yet again, as Light of Heaven can escape. Oh man, Blurbrain finally does have that 1-point missile, as Blurbrain is gonna single-handedly hold off the Navi squad from finishing the game, but again lost to barracks.
I don't think anybody told Blow Your Brain that he's losing this game.
He's
He's playing like he's winning, like he's just forcing out enemy buybacks and he's killing them and he's getting ultra kills. And his team is just getting massacred while he's doing it. Like you gotta give the guy points for being a champ.
Yeah, and actually Puppey did buy back, and if Puppey dies now, that could mean Roshan control. And against a team like Empire, who is struggling at the moment in this game, not just in general, of course, they're playing very, very well, but in this game they're struggling. If you're gonna give them any openings, then that's just not a good idea for Navi.
Not at all. Navi, most other teams who would have been playing against Navi this game would have just rolled over and died. Like, Navi had a huge advantage this entire game, and Empire is putting up an amazing fight. Yeah, sure, their early game was, for lack of a better word, crap, but they really put it together and said, you know what, we don't want to lose this game. I mean, actually, I haven't looked at the gold graph. Holy crap, yeah. At one point it was 15k, and they cut it back down, and then it's going back up, so they've really been fighting back, but at this point, I think they need a rapier to seriously actually win and engage without their entire team dying.
Instead, Gyrocopter going to get the lifesteal. Will help him sustain himself in battles, and obviously very far away from Rapier after those many, many buybacks, at least 4 by now, I must imagine. You know, Funnick, suffering a lot, does have that Daedalus, didn't actually buy back in that last engagement, I don't think. Still suffering quite a bit. And meanwhile, Navi trying to position to get the next push going. Havos does have that butterfly finished. Dendi, Hex, and E-Blade up, so gonna allow somebody to be isolated from doing much damage. I imagine once that BKB's down on the side of Blurbrain, that E-Blade's going right on him, disabling from the fight for essentially another 4 seconds.
I got a mechanics question for you, B-Bone, before this next fight. If you manually cast Impetus, can it hit an ethereal target? Because I know, or I think Obsidian Destroyers can, but I'm not sure.
ODs can, and I imagine Enchantresses can as well. But I don't think that worked in Dota 1, so I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I don't know either way. I'm not a mechanics guy. I'm really bad at, knowing that stuff. But if it can, that's actually some pretty smart play coming out from Dendi. And I imagine Puppey knows if it can or not, so.
Yeah, keep in mind that Sonic Wave, Scream Pain, E-Blade Burst damage, now it's a primary attribute, still will do significant damage to Blurbrain.
Ooh, they're going to smoke and try to pick off the people in, behind. This is like a super desperate move, but sometimes it works. So let's see if it actually happens or not.
Actually, Jakiro dual-breathed while he was in smoke. So that might have just tipped off to Navi that, alright, it might be time for us to smoke as well, as both teams are going to run around trying to get in position for that Roshan fight. As Navi, I think they could just keep pressuring, but they want to finish this game ASAP. Havos going to pop the BKB. It's going to wear off very, very soon before this fight actually breaks out. Scanlan going to take a loose beam right to the face. BKB's popped on all sides. Blurbrain trying to do whatever he can. ars-art is going to die as well as Havos. It's going to be an immediate 2-0 advantage in this team fight for the side of the Empire, as Puppey with that vacuum wall doing so much damage as Blurbrain is forced to retreat. Light of Heaven and Puppey just going to town saying, who needs Luna?
Yeah, triple kill coming out for Puppey. There's going to be maybe an ultra kill. Nope. Poor Puppey, he only gets triple kills this game. No ultra kills. But yeah, that's going to be game. And yep, there's a GG's coming out. Go next. Yeah, that was actually a really good game. I was surprised. I thought it would be, half this time.
Empire showing that, okay, you may keep us down, but it's never over till it's over. And we're going to make you play to the end, which is, the idea that any team should have. Except in a game where there's 5 carries on my public team, where I just sort of get fuck life.
Yeah, it's like, can one of you please leave this game so I don't have to play?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
As Navi going to take game 1, and Empire going 6-1 in their groups alongside Dignitas. Might just be on the verge of elimination in the Defense 3 in the quarterfinals. Who would have thunk it? As this is
Who
gonna
would have
be
thunk it? Yeah.
end this cast, and we'll be back with game 2 very, very shortly. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Peace.